Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about my honest experience and review of the University of Birmingham. So let's just get straight into the video. So I attended the University of Birmingham because I knew that it had a great reputation across the country, and the history department in itself I think has a very high ranking in the league tables for research. So I believe currently it holds #1 for research. I will confirm that in the description box below. And I also wanted to go outside of London, as that's where I reside. I wanted to live in a different city as well. So for academic studies, the University of Birmingham was an absolutely amazing university to go to. So I did a joint honours degree in history and political science. Now, the way we were taught was split up into lectures and seminars. So lectures are where you have a big group of students, which could be about 200, 300, I'm not sure, but it's a large number of students in a hall, and the lecturer is normally teaching at you, and you just basically write down notes and take down information as you go along. In seminars is when you consolidate your knowledge and you can ask any questions that you have about what you've been taught, and you can also kind of delve deeper into the topic. And so my seminars could range from maybe 12 people to 30 people. It really depended on the module or the subjects that we were studying. And so the University of Birmingham for me was absolutely amazing because I really could voice any concerns I had or any questions that I had about a module and a subject. And I think that is so important, to be able to understand what you are being taught and to be able to have the support to do so. So in my seminars, I felt comfortable to be able to speak out, to ask questions, and to really delve deeper into the subjects and the topic. Also, what I loved about the university is they provided academic support. So there was a service which could help you to write academically, and I was a user of that service as well. And it really helped my writing improve. And I think for a lot of people, their worry is coming from sixth form and then jumping to university level. But one thing I loved about the university was not only did they have that writing service available, is that when I went to the university in our first year, we had modules that would help us improve our writing skills, help us have the tools and skills needed to complete the course essentially. So for history, we did have 2 modules that enabled us to become great historians and develop the skills that we needed in order to do so. So for the academic side of things, the university was absolutely amazing. Another thing I loved about the university was the resources that they had available. So when I went to the university, the library was fairly new, I believe, and it was absolutely amazing. It was a modern study space. It was so convenient and so easy to use. It was easy to navigate around the library, and I think that is so important. When you're new, coming from a sixth form that's relatively very small compared to a university, it can be a bit daunting. So having a system in place that makes it easier for the student to find their resources without having to panic is absolutely amazing, and it really did help me a lot. And also there was a lot of resources available, so they had more than one copy of certain books, and I believe these were the books that were probably more popular or were needed for certain courses, which really helps again. So it meant that I didn't have to go out and buy books. I could go to the library. And also there was the availability of e-journals and e-books, so you could actually access these resources from the comfort of your own home. So if you're not really big on using libraries, there was also that option too. But of course there are some books where you do need to go to the library to take out. So I really enjoyed the academic support and the academic experience I had at the university. Now let's get into the social life, the social things. So at the university, the social life was amazing. So like I said, Birmingham is a city, and there was also other universities in this city as well. And this is just a few to name. So wow, I can't talk. Birmingham City University and Aston University as well. And so it meant that you could actually network with other students and meet other students as well. And it was kind of nice. It was really nice to meet other students in your area as well. The university itself had an amazing amount of societies, a vast number. So if you have a particular interest or hobby, you could join the society and make friends through that way. And I think that is so important because some of us, this is the first time we're leaving home, and it can be intimidating. So knowing that you can join a society based on a common interest or it takes the burden off, because like I've got something to talk to these people about, my like for X, Y, and Z. And so yes, societies is something that I would encourage you guys to join, because it does help you become a good, well-rounded person, I believe. So apart from societies as well, there were the University Student Union, who held events for students, such as Freshers Week, and they also made sure that student voices were heard. So if there was opinions that we had about the university or certain things that we wanted, they would take it up and they would look into it. And I think it's important that a university does listen to the concerns and the desires of the students, especially if it's going to, especially because we are living the university experience and we know some of the things that is needed for us to thrive and succeed. So it's so important that you go to a university that actually takes the concerns of students seriously. Okay, so that's the social life aspect. Also, let me just touch on this as well. So I live in London, and for me, I wanted somewhere that felt like home, somewhere where there was a lot of things to do, there was a lot of activities that I could go to, and the Birmingham was the city for me. It's very much similar to London in the sense that it's a big city, there's so much to do. You can go to the museum, you could go to fine dining restaurants, and I think to me it was important that I had somewhere that I lived in an area where there was things to do outside of just going to university, that there was things I could also get involved in that would develop me as a student, but also my social skills as well. Now we're going to talk about the living costs associated with the university, and I think this is a big worry for many students, is how am I going to survive in university, what is the cost like in Birmingham. So in Birmingham, I found that it was very affordable to live there in comparison to London. So I don't know what it would be like for someone who was living in another city and moving to Birmingham. I don't know what your experience would be like in terms of living costs and how you would see them, but for me, Birmingham was very affordable. I found that Uber was super cheap, and that's where a lot of my money went to. But this was because with Birmingham, I don't think the train systems run as regularly as they do in London. In London, we have so many train lines and they're quite regular and frequent, and I don't think Birmingham quite had the same. So I did find it more convenient and more accessible for me to just book an Uber a lot of the time. But they also did have great initiatives such as a £1 bus to the city centre for students, which I think is amazing. Who doesn't love a good bargain? Because I love a bargain, especially when you're a student. You love a bargain. So I think that was a really good initiative that they did have as well. Also, in terms of housing costs, in the first year I lived in halls, and I think this was the best decision for me because I wanted to make friends pretty quickly so I could feel settled in. And just living in halls allows you to do so because your first friends will probably be the people you live with or people in your accommodation block. So I think for halls, it really did help my experience a lot. The cost of my halls, I think, was ranging from £5,000 to £6,000. For some people, they would say that is really affordable. That is really, a great price for a student. But also, I lived in the city centre, so I did have travel costs, and I had to take the train to the university. So when you add those two together, it did actually average out to a normal university kind of price. In the second and third year, however, I did decide to have private accommodation with my friends, which was a lot cheaper for us, and we were able to split the costs of that as well. And it also meant that I had a lot more money left over to buy resources, to fund things like driving lessons, which I think is so important, to be able to have enough money to buy other things as well at university. And so for me, I really think that the university, just Birmingham in general, is very affordable for a student. And also just being able to do shopping as well. There was a range of shops that was in Birmingham, from Sainsbury's to Marks and Spencer's to Aldi to Lidl. So depending on what you like, where you like to shop at, that was available as well. Also, like I said, the transport is pretty much affordable. It's not that expensive, I believe. And so again, it was easy to kind of go to different locations because it was affordable. However, like I said previously, you can't compare the train systems in Birmingham to London. I just found that in London they are better. However, Birmingham is more affordable. But yeah, I did actually think that Birmingham did offer a lot, as a city in terms of affordability, and so I did enjoy my experience at Birmingham. And so I really hope this video has given you some insight. This is not an exhaustive experience of everything I experienced in Birmingham, but I really do hope that this gives you some guidance, and it does give you some insight into what life is like at the University of Birmingham and in the city. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me on my Instagram. I will put it in the description description box below. And also, guys, if you have any questions that you want to ask, whether it be in relation to my joint honours degree or applying to the university or just more information about my experience, you can comment in the comment box below and I will be sure to answer you guys. But again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this video and I hope you learned a lot from it. Okay, see you guys.